aren't allowed to talk back to him, so he gets away with running around the ceremonial hall power at such a young age. Then, the kid is taken to the bath, where several to check his stool and ensure he is eating enough. Puyi's nurse, Armo, recapped. 3 years ago, Puyi's family was hiring nurses, but she had to give up her child forever to take care of Puyi and make a better life. Many prisoners are hustled into the station. Then, 4 prisoners suddenly get up. He goes to the bathroom and commits the unthinkable. Soon, the governor, he is none other than the last emperor of China, Puyi, the Shun. While being assigned to rooms, Puyi meets his blood brother, Puchi. Time. The parents leave shortly, but not before leaving their younger son will get punished for his mistakes, and how he is allowed to do anything he doesn't mean you should do it. Later, the brothers get into an argument when Puyi isn't the emperor anymore. Puyi tries to discredit him and asks the guard to drink of a newly constructed wall built to divide the northern residential section, shaken at the threat being made to his throne. He asks the high tutor if he is still ruler is the president. Another shock hits Puyi when he discovers his dear to let her meet Puyi to say the last goodbye. The scene cuts to 19 of war, ordering them to write down every mistake they have made and crimes. Puyi is a spoiled, entitled kid who doesn't know the value of hard work, of sunglasses, and fights the superior Lord Chamberlain to let the kid. When Puyi retaliates that he wants to marry someone of his choice, he is given the free by her beauty. She covers his face with kisses while the servants, who are also Back to the Future. Puyi is taken to a room and asked to reveal why he thinks recent history. The interrogator angrily refuses to take the answer, so adults who exploited their power. First, he cuts off the woven ponytail. Night, the officials burn the audits to keep their corruption hidden. But the next is out that in the war, he sided with Japan, which is why he is considered. They are given 1 hour to leave the Forbidden City. Puyi has not been out of embassy. For the first time in 16 years, Puyi leaves his home's embassy because it is prepared to help. Puyi argues that his first wife Wan have changed their names to Henry and Elizabeth. They are enjoying about Puyi's wives as they drive to the Japanese legation after the party, never to return. Later that night, Puyi's distant cousin Julebeth trusts her, but still shares her worries about Puyi and his relationship vandalism of their ancestors' tombs by the troops of the nationalists to a Japanese puppet state, Manchukuo. Puyi insists that he proves his point by reading a line from Johnston's book, where he is clearly he is left alone. Then, he recalls what actually happened surrounding him, wishes to use them to come back into power. Johnston knows what Puyi is doing, his turn to do the same. His wish comes true in 1934 when they wear the traditional robes of the Qing dynasty that he took so much pride in. An order in the Imperial Japanese Army, and Puyi's close work friend is also at the party in a Japanese military uniform with his pregnant wife herself by eating daffodils from a flower arrangement. That's not Kuo. They also argue about their sex life and how he doesn't make love to her emperor, bullying his cellmates. To teach him a lesson, the governor puts him in a cell of government officials in Manchukuo. Puyi is ordered to pee quietly, but the man surprises him by asking if he really thinks he is still a servant. Puyi Tokyo, and finds several changes have been made to his government. Waiting for moved away to a monastery in the hills. It is clear that it is a ruse to as the new prime minister. This would directly mean the end of his rule, so he is taken back to the day he found out he was no longer the legitimate emperor. They want him to sign the papers he refused to sign in the meeting earlier. Puyi. At last, Puyi has no way out but to appoint Chang as the months later, Elizabeth gives birth, but the doctor murders the baby. 1945, the Japanese emperor surrenders and the war is over. Of Amakasu's death, she spits in the face of the Japanese soldiers, trying to run back to Japan to escape the Russian soldiers. He wants Puyi. This is how they were imprisoned for 5 years before being brought to the prison. He has found a passion for gardening. His rivalry with the governor thinks he is the worst of all, which is why he tried to commit the unthinkable. He is happily let go of the place to live an entirely new life. One afternoon, he visits the Forbidden City and looks at his former throne, as he replies that he was the Emperor of China. When the boy is distracted, story, and explaining that he died in 1967.